Hi guys, I hope you're all enjoying the leftover Thanksgiving dinner right now. Eric and Joey here to talk about When the Dead Come Knocking, new Walking Dead episode, and the penultimate episode of Season 3, Part 1.
It's a good way to put it. It's a great tension-building episode, I think. I had some quibbles with it, a lot of annoying little things, but overall I thought it was a very solid, exciting episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was very effective as far as being kind of creepy and getting under your skin. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about the annoying stuff, which I think mostly came up front, which I guess is the good news. Yeah. It kind of got out of the way.
That's true. I mean, Michonne showing up to prison, and then being sort of angry that they're trying to help her even though she was there clinging to the fence and like really upset and clearly like in need of assistance. That just bothered me. It was some sloppy writing, I think.
I think so too, because I get that she's supposed to be guarded and, you know, protective and all that, but at the same time it was kind of ridiculous the extent to which she wasn't giving anything up.
And not only that, but she saw the events in the last episode of part of their group who they clearly are nice people, you know, are decent people, and she shows up and sees them, knows who they are kind of, from that experience, but she's still just a jerk.
She is a jerk. I mean, Rick kind of called her out on it, but still just don't write her to be a jerk in the first place.
Yeah.
Also, very convenient that she never says Merle's name, you know? So, because I wondered, oh, Daryl's going to hear Merle's name right now, but then she never says, oh, it was a guy with one hand named Merle.
It's almost as convenient as how she knew about the prison in the first place.
So right,
it's all thematically connected.
That's right, that's right. But let's get to the better stuff, which is once they got underway on their, and we had Rick's group setting out on the journey, and meanwhile we had this really dark stuff going on with Maggie and Glenn as prisoners.
You know, one of my big concerns was I love Maggie and Glenn; they're my favorite characters, and I just know that good things do not await them in Woodbury. But opening the episode on that interrogation with Glenn was really intense and a really effective way to open the episode.
Yeah.
And you can see they didn't really shy away from a whole lot.
No, they didn't. I mean, some people are going to bring up what happens in the comic books when the governor has prisoners, which aren't the exact same people.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could say it goes even further and darker, but this still was pretty psychologically scarring. Maybe not as physically as what he does in the comics, but it's still like what he does is pretty brutal.
I mean, to me, in some ways it's worse because he still could be doing those other things, but now you don't know. If you don't, it's one of those things where you don't see it.
Right.
It can be a lot worse in your mind.
And yeah, I mean, even the fact when he brings Maggie into Glenn and she doesn't have her shirt on, and it's obviously Glenn's mind is going to go to a horrific place, which it should.
Yeah.
It's just, it's all like you just feel horrible for them to the point that when, you know, Maggie gives up where they are, that the prison exists, you know, you don't say, God damn you, how could you? Because you understand. And she's trying to save Glenn's life.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the last couple episodes, the governor was sort of more sympathetic. You know, we didn't really get a whole lot of creepy, mad guy, but this episode just threw all that out the window. And he's not a nice man.
He's not a nice man. Oh, and by the way, full racist Merle was back.
Yes.
He slowly through the season is getting back to that. He just needs to start taking the drugs again.
Yeah, he needs to remember how racist he used to be.
That's right, but he heard T-Dog's name.
It's all okay now.
That's right, it set it all off. But definitely, I mean, that was all very gripping stuff. And then meanwhile, you had Rick's smaller group journey to get to Woodbury.
Yeah, the journey to Woodbury was kind of weird for me because, again, conveniently there were zombies along the way. And they stopped in that house when they got trapped in the house, and there's the crazy guy in there, which I didn't fully get because it seemed like he wasn't aware of what was happening.
Right.
But again, he was living with his dead dog, and he was just out of his mind, I guess, but they didn't really establish that.
They didn't explain crazy guy, which was weird. On the other, I kind of liked what happened there, not as far as like enjoying like yay, but you know, the fact that they had to kill that guy and then throw him to the zombies did show the, you know, this is kind of the world we live in, and if you're going to endanger us, we just have to take you out idea. So that was all very cool, although it was just kind of funny to have like random crazy guy.
I think that shows the group too that Michonne is, you know, what she's all about, and that she's gonna be played by their rules, essentially. So.
Yeah, and then I mean, they stepped right up. I think it was Rick and Daryl who just tossed that guy out there. So.
And then we got a nice close up of guts being spewed and eating. So all you gore fans, hopefully you enjoyed that.
And thankfully, Andrea was not as driving us crazy this week as last time. I was just glad in the stuff, her whole storyline with Milton, that she was the smart one for sure in that scenario. I mean, everything he was saying about unfastening this guy, I mean, she knew better, and she hadn't forgotten everything that she'd seen. Because you do wonder, like, is she going to want to believe this whole thing of that there can be a bit of the humanity left in them? But,
yeah, I mean, but then again, her sister's dead, Shane's dead, everyone that she thinks she knows is dead, so I don't see there why there would be a reason for her to think that. So
Right.
it was nice to see her step up and actually take charge for once.
Yeah, definitely. And then the end of the episode, yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens now in next week's mid-season finale, because you've got the governor knows about the prison. He's obviously going to go there, but Rick's group is coming into Woodbury. So you might have them kind of switching places. We're
That would be weird.
It would be weird. But let us know what you think is going to happen and what you thought of this week, and we'll be back next week to talk about that mid-season finale, guys. Thanks.